again. We see Macbeth, and we meet Malcolm and Duncan and all that kind of stuff. But the rest of Act 3 and all of Act 4 passes, and there isn't a sight nor light of Lady Macbeth. And that's really, really significant. She's just an absence in the play. And the next time we do see her is in the sleepwalking scene. And her husband is nowhere to be found. She's sleepwalking, and she's saying, admitting, the Thane of Fife had a wife. Where is she now? Where is she now? So she's kind of freaked out because she's heard what's happened to Lady Macduff and her children, and she's finding it hard to believe that her husband could have turned into this. And she's probably feeling guilty. She's feeling guilty for the part she played in it. But most of all, she's feeling guilty because she transformed him into a man who was capable of doing such things. So Lady Macbeth is sleepwalking, and she has never needed her husband more. She has never felt more alone and more lonely and more vulnerable, and her husband is nowhere to be found. I guess there's a poetic justice here, because Lady Macbeth was there for Macbeth physically. She was there, talking in his ear. But she was there for him physically, but she wasn't there for him emotionally, because every time he tried to talk about how he was feeling, she just shut him down. And the doctor is with her, and obviously Macbeth is trying to make sure his wife is looked after, but he's not there, and that's really significant. The next time we do see Macbeth, he's asking about his wife, so he obviously still cares about her. But he says, "How does your patient?" to the doctor. He doesn't say, "How is my wife? How is my dearest love? How is my true love? How is my darling? How is my dearest partner of greatness?" No, he doesn't say any of those things. He says, "How is your patient?" I googled it, and apparently in a good relationship, the couple like each other, they spend a lot of time together, they enjoy each other's company, and they support each other through difficulties. If problems emerge in their relationship, it can be because the couples keep arguing over the same thing over and over again. So conflict becomes a feature of their relationship. And once conflict becomes a feature of a relationship and they keep arguing about the same thing over and over again, then people can start to get defensive. And the next stage is where they basically start avoiding each other. So they spend time as far away from each other as they possibly can, and that's called stonewalling. And it's where a couple are sick of having the same argument over and over again, so they start to avoid each other completely, and that's when you know a couple are in real trouble. So Macbeth orders the doctor to find a cure for her, and he's really annoyed that the doctor can't cure her. But Shakespeare deliberately portrays it in such a way that we never actually see Macbeth and Lady Macbeth together again. After the banquet scene, they are never on stage together again. And that's, I suppose, a symbolic reminder of how much distance there is between them now, and how far they've gone from the couple who were so close at the beginning of the play to the couple that they are now. They're probably in phase 5, relationship breakdown. Phase 1 is conflict. Phase 2 is contempt, where they actually start to dislike each other. Phase 3 is where they start acting really defensively. Stage 4 is stonewalling. I'm ignoring you, you're ignoring me. And stage 5 is you live separate lives. You might still live under the same roof, but you're leading completely separate lives. The last thing that is really significant, though, is that when Macbeth hears that his wife is dead, he does react. He's implying that, well, we all have to die one day. But that doesn't mean that he doesn't care that his wife is dead. It's actually that he doesn't really care about life and death anymore. It's more that he's reached a point of such despair, he's lost so much, that he just thinks that life is utterly and completely pointless. She should have died hereafter. Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day, to the last syllable of recorded time. And all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out, out, brief candle. Life's but a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage and then is no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. I think the power and passion of that speech, of how pointless human existence is, that could only be delivered in the moment after he discovers that his dearest partner of greatness is actually dead, and that everything they've done has been for nothing. The only other thing of any relevance that happens is that we're told that Lady Macbeth commits suicide, And I think you have to be really careful in discussing this. A person who suffers from severe depression, you really can't blame their spouse if they commit suicide. So if you have somebody who's really, really far gone, who's in the depths of despair, it's not anybody else's fault if they kill themselves. And I think it's highly insulting and simplistic to suggest that you can save anyone from themselves, because you can't. You can't save somebody from the demons inside. But at the same time, it is significant that she more than likely died feeling completely alone and completely abandoned by her husband. And that's basically the story of a marriage breakdown.